Sometimes I was angry at myself. Why can't I fit in?
Sometimes we find ourselves in situations, I'm in one, that brought me to clarity.
So it's not about becoming a perfect human first. You just learn, you just choose.
She can feel more of the subtle divinity.
See the beauty of the forest and through the trees, or forest and the trees at the same time.
It makes me wonder, is the inner world and the outer world all the one thing?
I recognize the land, and obviously the land recognizes me.
Nice.
Today's reflection of mine is that stopping is sometimes useful to stop and look how far you've gone. And it's not like an ego trip, but rather a pat on the back. And well, yesterday I had a meeting of my professional association, and there were a lot of people, and energetically it was very hard for me to be there. And sometimes I was angry at myself. Why can't I fit in? And then I saw, fit in to what? To them? To the environment? To oppressive system? To patriarchy? To zero empathy? To stealing energy? What do you want to fit in? Really? Celebrate, you don't fit in, you know? There's nothing to fit in over there. Yeah, so it's like flipping the coin, like you think, oh, it's so bad, I don't fit in, and then you can think, wow, I don't fit in this game. Because I've been there, done that, and it's nothing good for me. Yeah, and now I'm enjoying my time in the swamp. I'm always in awe. How is it possible that nature keeps on being so alive and so calm, and it's never fighting with life? And sometimes I see that there's still so much for me to gain from this relationship. Yeah. So thanks for being, thanks for not fitting in. It's time to celebrate. Yeah. Enjoy your life the way you want to create it.
Hi viewers, for today's Soul Jazz I was going to discuss the relationship between the inner world of dreams and our outer world of our experience as humans. And I've been pondering this one. I had a dream once where I was playing with these two eagles. We're in a paddock. I grew up on a farm. In the dream, they're as big as a human, as tall as a human. And there was two of them and myself, and we're just playing like best of friends and discussing things. And And they turned to me and said, "Do you want to meet our mum?" I said, "Sure." And they took me up to a embankment, and we're looking at a big dry river. And then I looked over, and there's this 30-foot eagle sitting there on the dry grass in this dry riverbed. It was to the side of it and slightly behind, and she slowly turned, looked at me, and telepathically said, "Go away. I'm not interested in humans. You're destroying the planet." This is back in the 90s, so a bit before the environment and save the planet and all that sort of stuff. And I was in awe. This majestic bird, whatever it was so powerful it could have, with a moment's thought, just extinguished me. But it was above all that. Everything had its place. And then it slowly turned away and ignored me. And I woke up. Anyway, I didn't recall the dream at all. And this is where the relationship between the inner world and the outer world comes in. I worked a few blocks away, a few miles away, and I was coming home for lunch on my motorbike. And before I got to the driveway, a large bird of prey flew right in front of me across my view and made me brake. It was either a large barn owl or a kite or something. But instantly I had full dream recall from something in the outer world of the dream that morning. And it makes me wonder, is the inner world and the outer world all the one thing? Is that the outer world communicating to the soul to remember? I don't know. It's food for thought. Anyway, thanks for listening.
Look at this. This eagle is huge, by the way. It's huge, like 2-something meters. The wings. Look at it. Just amazing. Soul playing with you. Amazing. Always drove me crazy, people saying they're circling because they're looking for food. How about they're just playing? Look at this beauty. Maybe one of the best sunsets I ever had. I know, sorry Hawaii, but this might beat it. Look at this. Just amazing. Wouldn't you want to be an eagle here for just a minute? Look at this. Beautiful.
Soul Jazz continues as a main theme, Soul Encounters. This time it is the encounter with the land that we used to live a long, long time ago. And being here now, even the bell starts to ring. It brings back memories, and actually it feels very good because it is all part of the whole of us. This is the land of Josen. And there is so peaceful and tranquil. because I recognize the land, and obviously the land recognizes me. And this is one of the most rewarding things that we can give to ourselves, being on this planet that has so much of our dwelling places and our past lives. And it all comes together now. And the soul is happy. Very happy, actually. And when you sit like this, in the presence of your past life, it starts to weave the new tapestry, and this past life becomes actually a present, a part of the soul that is here, because it always was in a way. And I'm really very, very, very happy.
Today, I would like to talk about the relationship, the connection between the soul, the divine part, and the human body. My human has been having stiff shoulders for a very long time. She tried to do something with it, but never worked out. And also, recently, she's been having discomfort in her thighs, like tension. Finally, she decided to do something about it and went to a chiropractor. There, this person worked on her body, and to her delight, she found out that she could move her arms much more than she did before, and the tension in her thighs were much better, almost none left. And it did come back a few days after, but still, she felt much better. And one more thing that she found out was that she can connect more, she can feel more of the subtle divinity. She feels it in not as a vibrance, but something existing, like energy is going through her. And after her body was worked on, she was able to feel more of it. And that was something unexpected and very joyful. So we are looking forward to getting her body better and feeling the divine part of her much more and living a happy human and divine life.
Today, clarity has made herself known to me. And today, for my soul jazz, I choose peace, calm, and clarity. All is well. All is well. Sometimes we find ourselves in situations, I'm in one, that brought me to clarity. You find yourself in situations where It's no good for your soul. And since we are soul beings, we have to honor and respect our soul. I love my soul. I want to stay in balance for her. Therefore, I choose me. I choose peace over pleasing. It's love. It's not withdrawal. It's just love. That's how you decide. Choose you. Choose life. Choose your soul. Choose truth.
Yeah, so hi. Yeah, so for the human and I, we wanted to share a story about what we're up to lately, and that's part of the message here is to try and remember to see the forest through the trees. And that's the old saying of where we've understood it that the forest is the global and the overall view of the beauty of the forest. And the trees are the beauty of the trees too, but more of the each of the trees and the detail. And both are very important because if you don't have the detail of the forest, sometimes it can be very different of how it is perceived or how it looks for the individuals that do live there. So in this case here, when this house was built maybe a dozen years ago, there was lots of beautiful deciduous trees that were, maybe 100 feet high that had to be removed and cleared for land for the house in a yard. And there still was a few that were left over, but last year it was my human and I, we decided to remove a few trees that were still towering over that were older, and we were a bit concerned that if they fell over on one of the houses, it could be very serious injury or crushing the house or possibly injuring people so that it was a very sad decision to make for us, but we felt it was necessary. And so this year here, we're putting in some replacement trees for where these trees were. They're just more fruit trees, a little bit smaller, flowers, and some other border areas here. So that's going all well. We had somebody else plant them because it's a little bit too much work for my human here, but it did work out well. We also put in some, grass seed around there. So there's a lot to do, with the regular stuff of pulling weeds. And pulling weeds can be a bit addictive in some ways, but it's a fun, again, it's a bit of a tailoring of the yard and bringing out its beauty in a new way. And it's a bit like artistry. And your yard is an artistry. And, whether you have big trees or small trees, flowers, there can be a joy and a beauty in it, and it's always can change. Each year is new. You definitely have a lot that comes up here very fast, so it's always changing. There's lovely birds, and so just always for what my human's doing here, he's always trying to slow down a little bit and take a breath and just see the beauty of the forest and through the trees, or forest and the trees at the same time, and the detail and the overall view, and just to enjoy the experience, even if it's the gardening and pulling weeds, whatever it is, cutting grass. It all can be very fun. And but again, it's like just enjoy the moment, and sometimes you just got to slow down and take a breath and look around. So, thank you. That's our story for today.
So this morning I was having a conversation with a friend who's staying here, and something had clicked for him this morning. To me, it's one of the biggest traps on this journey, if not the biggest one. And it was also a really big key to my freedom. So I wanted to talk about that. And it's this belief that we have as humans that once we've released this aspect or let go of this issue, then life will be good, or then we will feel love, or then we'll be enlightened, or whatever. So there's this tendency to want to fix yourself or your aspects, or this belief that you need to release all of them first. And it wasn't until after a long time I finally realized that you go to the all is well place that's always there. You go hang out with your soul and you spend as much time as you can there. And then those issues might still be there and the aspects may come up. They actually will come up a lot more. But it doesn't mean that you have to go into them or fix them. If you're in your all is wellness space, then you can still have aspects that come up, but you just don't really bothered by it anymore. And that was what my friend realized this morning when he woke up in his all is wellness, and he thought, wow, I can just feel really, really good. And then, these aspects or pains or issues, they can still come up, but they actually dissolve when I'm in this space, and it's a lot easier to deal with them. So it's not about fixing them or becoming a perfect human first. You just learn, you just choose to put your awareness on where your soul is. I call it my all is wellness soup. And then these things kind of take care of themselves, or your soul takes care of them. And it doesn't mean you can't feel good, even though there are parts of you freaking out or doing whatever the fuck they're doing. Because I think as long as you stay on the planet, you'll never be 100% integrated. And some of the parts may just still be there. So I thought that was a nice thing to share today.